Hi, I'm Skylar. Why did I say my name weird? It's my name. Hi, I'm Skylar. Let's talk about books. Hello, today I will be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag, as this is probably like my 5th video on Booktube or something. And I haven't done a tag yet, and I really wanted to. I also low-key was just going to do the TBR tag because Books and Lala just did it, but then I decided to have some sort of fake originality. So let's do this. Also, I was watching some other people's videos of them doing this, and everyone was like, this should have been the first video I made on Booktube. And I was like, I don't think that's true at all. I think that I'm happy with the first video I made for Booktube. But I'll talk about that during this, okay? Question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? It was clearly to showcase loud trucks passing by my window. No, I mean, obviously if you scroll far enough back, you'll see that my first videos on here were not actually Booktube videos. They were YouTube, normal YouTube videos, vlogs, and various other things, and there's some school projects on there and stuff like that, which is really just because I feel this insatiable need to create things. I watch a lot of YouTube, and so sometimes I would wake up or I'd be in the middle of doing something and I'd suddenly just think of a video idea that I would think, oh, that'd be so entertaining and so fun to do and so fun to watch. And eventually I just sort of went, you know what? I want to be the one to make them. I want to stop waiting for other people to make the things that I've thought of, and I want to make them myself. But the reason why I sort of shifted gears from being a normal YouTube channel to being a Booktube channel is, well, there are a few reasons. The main one being I just love to talk about books, and I'm sure that's what everyone says, but it's true. I love talking about books, and sometimes I want to talk about very specific things about books. So I did it so that I would get to talk about books as much as I want. And because it looked like being a booktuber was a lot of fun, and I want to have a lot of fun, and I have a camera and a laptop and a sister who edits my videos, so I had all of the necessary tools to begin. Question number 2. What are some fun, unique things you can bring to Booktube? And the answer to this is, good question, I do not know. I'm still figuring it out. I don't intend to be revolutionary in the Booktube space. I'm not coming in here thinking, I'm gonna change the game. I'm gonna do things no one's ever done before. But I also don't think I'm gonna be just like every other booktuber. I don't think I'm gonna be just like any booktuber, because I'm me, and I'm different than Books and Lala or a Clockwork Reader or Jessie the Reader or anyone else. So I guess the fun, unique things I can bring are me, the things I think of and the things I do, and we have yet to see what most of those will be, but hopefully they will be coming, and I do not have a solid plan for what they will be. 3. What are you most excited about for this new channel? I am very excited to make videos that I've been thinking about for, at this point, literally probably over a year. I think of these great ideas for vlogs or challenges or things like that, and I just hold on to them, and I can't wait to execute some of them and put them out into the world and be horribly disappointed in them, instead of being horribly disappointed that I never did them. And I'm also just excited. I'm excited to talk about books. I'm excited to, I hope this pushes me to read more books. Although admittedly, I'm pretty bad about that right now, not reading books itself, but using this as a way or a reason to read books, because I have videos that I am trying to make that have specific TBRs, and instead of reading those TBRs, I just read anything else I want to. I'm very clearly a lot of a mood reader. I'm kind of a mood reader to an extreme, not to the point that I'll stop in the middle of a book, but literally I would rather pick up a book that I see in the library that I have no idea what it is instead of stuff off my TBR for no good reason. I could know what a book is kind of about and be really excited for it, and it could be on my TBR for years, and then I see it on the shelf, and for some reason I pick up whatever's right next to it. So that little tangent is fun, but I'm hoping this will help me be slightly more focused in my reading. I would love to actually read all of the books that are on my TBR. I know that's kind of impossible because I'll keep adding new ones to my TBR as I read them, but a girl can dream. Question number 4, why do you love reading? The answer to that is very difficult for me because it's kind of like saying, why do you love breathing? I have been reading since I was 6 years old. I was homeschooled and I decided myself that it was time to learn to read. I told my mother on my 6th birthday that it was time for me to learn to read. I brought books with me, Dr. Seuss books, and I had said, let's start with this. Even before that, my family loved going to the library. It was a big ordeal. We lived on a farm, so the library was like an hour away. I went to story times and my parents read me books every night if I was good, and we listened to books in the car, and it was just such a huge part of my life ever since I can remember that I can't actually imagine not reading or not loving to read. So it's kind of hard to choose what I love about reading. It keeps me going, it keeps me alive. It teaches me things, it distracts me when I need it, it makes me more sympathetic and compassionate and informed, and I can't imagine my life without it. And I guess it also helps me feel not so alone in the world. You can pick up books and read about people that are like you and learn things about yourself you never knew that you needed to know. And it also is just, it's fun. Why do people like listening to stories? Why do people always like listening to stories and watching TV and movies and telling stories? It's because it's fun, and I don't know, part of me thinks that maybe that's kind of what we're meant to do in this life. 5. What book or series got you into reading? And see, this is another kind of trick question for me because I had listened to a lot of audiobooks and been read a lot of books and was set up to read books before I had started making my own decisions. So I'm just going to talk about some series that I read when I was very young. The first books I ever read were Dr. Seuss books because they were easy. I quickly moved on to Junie B. Jones and then The Magic Tree House. And then within the year of me being 6, I had read the first Harry Potter book. I read Matilda for the first time when I was 6, and it meant that I went on and read every other book by Roald Dahl that I could get my hands on. I read a lot of books by someone named Edward Eger. I loved E. Nesbit. I loved a lot of classics. They were free, and so I could read them online as much as I wanted to. I read the Percy Jackson books when I was very young with my family. So there's no one real answer. There was no book that I picked up and it made me love reading and kept me going because I started basically when I was born and I never stopped. So I don't have a good answer for that, and I'm sorry about it. 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? This one I think is obviously very easy. It is, would you like to do a collab with me? No, I'm kidding. That's a good question. But this is difficult. I feel like it's a very tailored question because I have a lot of favorite booktubers. So what I would want to do is, a lot of booktubers like specific genres more than anything else. Like Books and Lala really loves thrillers. I can't handle a lot of thrillers because I have very strong anxiety and chronic nightmares, and I get scared very easily, and I don't enjoy being scared that much. But I do enjoy an occasional thriller if it's well done and it's not actually horror in disguise. So what I would ask Books and Lala is, what is a good thriller for people who don't like things that are very scary? Because I could just ask, what's your favorite book? Or what's one book you think everyone should read? But I want something more tailored than that. I want to figure out how to get into their reading tastes in a way that I know will be enjoyable for me, as well as something that could relate to them. So that's what I would ask my favorite booktubers. And finally, question number 7. What do you think the hardest challenges will be to overcome for Booktube? Obviously, one of them is you guys being able to hear me over the trucks that drive on my road. I live right next to a shipping yard. But the actual answer is consistent uploads and finishing videos, which I'm sure is a struggle for most YouTubers, but I'm terrible at it. I mentioned this in my last video, but I have videos that I've started. I have a lot of footage that I just have. I'm just holding on to it. I'm just holding on to it, waiting to finish it, and then send it to my sister who does all my editing, and I just don't do it, and I just don't do it. And that's the way so many things are. I have fully written scripts for short films and videos and things that I want to make, and then I never do anything with them, and I find it a few years later and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Why didn't I make it? I don't know. So honestly, the biggest challenge is getting me to do this, to sit down in front of the camera and talk to you guys, and then after this, I have to immediately take the memory card out of the camera, put it in my laptop, download the videos, and send them straight to my editor. Because if I do not, then this video will never see the light of day. And that is so sad. Yeah, so I don't know if that's an original answer. Like I said, I watched a few people's videos, but if we're being honest, I did not watch them all the way through, most of them. So yeah, that's my biggest challenge. Weirdly enough, I thought for some reason in here I would talk about my first Booktube video. I guess I didn't, but I want to mention it real quick. My first actual intended to be on Booktube video is my review of The Beekeeper's Apprentice, and I literally made it because I had finished the book, and my friend, I was reading it at the same time as her. She was the only other person I knew who was reading it, and she wasn't finished yet. And I also already knew that we were having very different opinions, which is great. I'm so happy that she liked the book more than I did. I want people to have different tastes. I want people to be able to enjoy things. That's great. However, I was not enjoying it, and I didn't want to be a negative Nancy and corrupt her opinions of the book, I didn't want to get in an argument. I didn't want any of that. So I was like, well, I have to talk about this because if I don't, I will explode. So I quickly put together a video and I put it up, and actually, you know what, going back, I actually liked it a lot more than I remembered liking it when I first put it up. I thought it was somewhat almost funny. I liked a lot of the components I included. I didn't think it was as boring as when I first put it up. I thought it was so boring. I wish I touched my face less, but that's, what are you gonna do? I even kind of like the editing, although it was not as good as the editing on my current videos. Because once again, I do not do my editing. My sister does my editing. If you want someone else to do your video editing for you, her profile is in the description of the video. You could contact her and hire her and also have someone else edit your videos, which will be helpful if you are also trying to get more videos into the world, because taking the editing portion out of this has been hugely helpful. Because when I had to do editing as well, oh my god, videos hardly ever went up then. That is literally why I started making videos, is because I went, if I don't talk about this book, I'm going to self-combust. So I made a video and I put it out into the world and it went nowhere, which is fine, honestly. I'm not intending to do this for fame or money. I have a job, I have other passions in life, but if I don't talk about books, then I will explode. And at this point, I only live with my sister, and there's only so much she can listen to me talk about books she has not read. So, all you have to listen to it instead. By all you, I mean specifically my sister who's editing this. Different sister. BT dubs. I have multiple. Anyway, so that is that for the Booktube Newbie Tag. That's my first tag done, set, break the glass bottle on the ship and send it out of port. Hopefully. Feel like it leaving port might be the part where I actually upload this. Hopefully you'll see me again very soon. I'm trying to upload more. I really want to. I want to have a consistent upload. So hopefully you'll see me again soon. I don't have a consistent outro, so bye. Happy reading.